What's good, everyone? VenomousStare here with professional StarCraft 2 gameplay. This time we have a PvZ between Snute and HerO, and we can see that jumping right into things, HerO has gone for a gateway opener, and he's blocked Snute's expansion with this probe, Snute being forced to take his third down here. And it appears as though Snute's going to just gas pool right after. Now, having to take your natural over at your third base location can be tricky because, well, obviously, whenever you have to start transferring drones, the drones have to walk way further. And whenever your Protoss opponent does a pressure build and you kind of lose your foothold, oftentimes things can kind of snowball out of control because the rally points are way further away than you're used to, and the ability to rally things out from your main to hold different builds is completely different. For instance, an Oracle, like the travel distance from a Queen main to natural, you know, that's like not very far, especially with one tumor. But imagine a Queen walking all the way down here. So this little probe block here that HerO is doing is very annoying, and it is something that newer Protoss players should try to replicate. And this is one of these small little things that you can do, and if you go into certain builds, it really makes the builds powerful. And just think about how little of an investment it is. It's just an early probe scout, and we can see a Twilight coming down here for HerO. So this could be a lot of different things. A lot of people have been opening Robo with Twilight, and then they will get a quick DT shrine off of like 2 or 4 gates, and then they will fly across the map with the Warp Prism, warp in 4 DTs, and then warp in double Archon and just do 2 Archon harass. It's very strong because the Archons are so tanky, and you can hide them behind mineral lines. And there is a plethora of different warp get all-ins you can do. Sometimes you get Blink and do like 8 gate Blink Stalker with an upgrade. That one has fallen off quite a bit as we see the Adept poking forward here at the third base. The more common build is what we see here, is the Resonating Glaive build, where what we're probably going to see is if HerO is going to take a third base, then he'll probably add a couple gates, do a pressure and take a third, or if he's going to all in, he's going to probably build a pylon somewhere in the main and then add a bunch of extra gates. And Legacy of the Void, Protoss Warp Gate has been nerfed, so no longer can you just warp in things at 1 pylon in 4 seconds. So this means that Protoss players usually will get a Warp Prism whenever they do Warp Get All-Ins. They will get a Robo and just make the 1 Warp Prism, chrono it out. They won't bother with an Immortal or an Obs. They'll just make that Warp Prism and use it strictly for Warp In. Now, of course, this wasn't out of the question back in the day in Wings of Liberty. We saw a lot of times, especially with an Immortal all-in, people would get the Warp Prism, but in Legacy of the Void it is far more important because in order for a proxy pylon to be as effective as it was in Wings and in HOTS, you have to have a gateway on it. So the Robo is about to finish for HerO, the Resonating Glaives are about to finish, and HerO is just going to do a huge Adept all-in because he has 4 more gates in the main, no third base, notice, and Snute's natural just finished. And this is kind of something tricky that happens whenever you have to take your third base at your natural, is the creep is a little bit out of whack and the drone saturation's a little out of whack. HerO throwing some shades forward, cancels. Where does he go? He's running away. So the 5 gates are about to finish, and a DT shrine is on the way. So as it stands, I think that Snute thought, well, you know, maybe this is a little bit of pressure. If we look at Snute's vision, he doesn't have vision of the thirds. So this might just look like a little bit of Adept pressure for him. But once he sees how many Adepts there are, this is going to be very unfortunate for him. He's making 6 Roaches and 4 Lings. But a lot of Adepts are coming out, and Adepts with Resonating Glaives pack a huge punch. And this DT Shrine is a nice little plan B for HerO. So HerO's going to do the classic Protoss move. He's going to throw the shades one direction to scout, cancel them. Now he forced Snute's army to move up with those shades, because if he had taken them, You know, and Snoot's army had just come down to the third, he would have just eviscerated everything. So he's going to throw the shades again, cancel again, and then actually warp in on the high ground. And while he warps in on the high ground, he's doing damage to the third, and he's doing damage kind of all over the place as we see these resonating glaive adepts really shredding. And now they're almost all in the natural. HerO kind of going bananas a bit, but a lot were in the main too. And a lot of drones going down here for Snute. 22 total. And the adepts have been running around. And they got kills in the main while they were pressing the natural, and DTs. Wow, that is brutal for Snute. They are killing the third is dead, and we can see adepts in the main, and Snute might have to tap out here pretty quick as the adepts attacked in multiple locations, and then the DT follow-up. There's nothing more brutal than a DT follow-up when you're already behind, because you can't afford to be making spore crawlers. And we can see at this point Snute is extremely far behind, 13 drones to 44, and HerO has taken these gases 3 and 4, and Snute GG. So that was game 1 of a best of 3. Make sure you subscribe for more, and leave a like rating and click the bell notification icon.